All right, welcome back. So, let's imagine that you wake up today uh, just a bit before the London session opening, and you want to go ahead and start to look at the markets and potentially find some trades to enter. Okay, so what should you do? In this video, I'm going to show you exactly what you should do before London session every single morning. And then I'm not going to go super deep into explaining you all of the four scenarios that you are able to use to enter the market, the London, the Asian high rejection or breakout, or Asian low rejection or breakout, because I'm gonna go ahead and explain all of these different scenarios during the examples series, where I go through many trades that I took before on the backtesting, etc., and I will explain the reasonings why I took the trade on a detailed basis. In this video, let's keep it short and let's show you exactly what steps you have to do in order to find potential oppositions. Okay, so I opened this replay mode on TradingView, and this is how we're gonna backtest the strategy, how you're gonna backtest the strategy to gain confidence. More about it on the videos in the future later on. But for now, as you can see, this candlestick, the last candlestick, is at 9:45, which means that the next candlestick is the London candlestick. So this is the Asian session. This whole purple area is the Asian session. So you always have to be in front of your laptop or computer screen, basically. I would say a good half an hour before London session begins. Okay, because you want to have your morning coffee, you want to have your charts ready. So if you are trading multiple currency pairs, you will have to do this on all of your pairs. I usually trade one or two pairs, so it's quick for me, but basically that's what you want to do. So moments before the London session opening, you want to mark the highest point and the lowest point of the Asian session. So you do that with the horizontal ray tool, with this one. So you click on it, and we can easily see that the highest point of the Asian session was this spike right here. So you click on it, and the lowest point easily was this spike right here. So now you have the range of the Asian session, which is basically the highest point and the lowest point. And now what you have to do is simply wait throughout the London session on each 15-minute candlestick closure to see if this candlestick is potentially giving you a position to execute. Okay, so let's skip through time in this case, but in real life you would be sitting in your computer and basically looking at the chart. You don't have to look at every single tick, but you should come back and check every 15 minutes, because that's when the candlestick closes and it may give you an entry. So London session began. This candlestick is absolutely nowhere, so we are not interested in any kind of position. Next candle, same thing. Next candle, same thing. This candle is also, as you can see, it's now at 10:45, and it's a trading in the range, in the middle of nowhere. So we only will become interested if we will come to the high or to the low. While we are sitting in this mess, it's not our business, and we are not looking for any kind of execution. Okay. Another candlestick, boom. We have this candle that actually retested the Asian session high. It showed a spike above it and then came back all the way below. This is a rejection, but it does not fulfill our entry point, because yes, we had a Asian session high retest and rejection. We haven't closed above the session high with a body, but we are not below both of the EMAs, which means that there is no entry, there is no trade. It's basically just a random candlestick that rejected the session high, which is interesting, but there is no entry that actually makes us exciting to go for a position. Next candle, we have another retest of the EMAs, come back, also pretty much nothing going on here. This candle is once again pretty interesting. We are very close to the session high. We showed some solid bearish selling pressure, but we are just at the EMAs. We are not below them. It's not a very specific entry, okay? It's just a simple candlestick that it would be pretty good for a short position, but it's not an actual entry, because this body, if you zoom in, you will see that we are sitting right at this EMA, so we are not below both of the EMAs visually, and this is also a bit of a gap between the session high, which is okay, but it's not ideal. Okay, we usually want to find an ideal trades, okay, where the entry is super visible, that yes, that's an entry. Okay, you can actually take this trade if you already made money this month and it's just one of your positions that you can actually afford to lose. But if it's your very first trade of the week or the month, I wouldn't actually be taking this position, okay? So let's wait a few more candles. This one, well, it's below the EMAs. It's pretty solid red candle, but as you can see, it's super far from the high. It does not count as an entry because the entry candlestick needs to be at the high or at the low, actually rejecting the high or the low, or showing break retest or something like that. Yeah, so this candle is in the middle of nowhere, so it's not an entry. This is also becoming fairly interesting. This candle showed a breakout below the session low with a body closure, which means that we are now we can confirm that the session low is taken out. So in order to find a short position in this case, we would need something like we had a break, now we need some retest, a price action back at a session low, and then another solid bearish red candlestick that confirms that we are potentially going to move lower. Or this could be a fake out, and we could see something like a comeback here and then another bullish green candle back above. And if that candlestick is above the session low with a body and above the EMAs, this would count as a rejection of the session low. So let's wait and see. No guessing. Next candle, a fairly retest. Yeah, we closed back above the session low, but we are not above the EMAs. We are not interested yet. Next candle, once again, we are back above the session low, which could count as a rejection of the session low, but we are not above the EMAs, not interested. Next candle, about nothing. Next candle, now that's interesting. What happened here? This candlestick showed a retest of the session low after this breakout here. Retest, came all the way back above and closed with a nice, very strong bullish or green candlestick buying pressure, and closed back above both of the EMAs super clearly. Strong, nice green candlestick, and after the retest of the session low. This candlestick fulfills all of the requirements to enter into a long position, in a buy position on GBP AUD. So this is something that I would actually take into consideration in buying, because it looks pretty good as an entry. Okay. Also, this is well within the time window for looking for trades. The US session hasn't opened just yet, so we are good to actually execute a buy position. So you click on long position, your entry point will be right here. Your stop loss always goes just a bit below your entry candle. So just a bit below, I usually don't count in pips, I just do visually just a bit below, just like that. So it's a pretty good stop loss, as you can see, 39 pips, which is a fairly decent amount of pips. And then your take profit will always be, as you remember, 3-1. So you always look at this risk reward ratio, it should be at 3. So let's do that at 3. I mean, sometimes I go 3 or 3.04, 2.99. I mean, it happens. It doesn't matter too much. So you have this position ready. So that's your entry. That's your take profit price, and that's your stop loss price. So you enter these things into the terminal when opening a position on your broker. Okay, you enter, you click on buy the moment this candlestick closes, because that's your entry candle. You click on buy, and then you set your take profit to this price and stop loss to this price, 3-1. And you always risk 1%. Yeah, of course, I will show you the actual examples of entering into a trade, calculating your risk, your stop loss, all of that things. That's for visual representation of a position. Okay, so we now have this position opened, and we can leave it to fulfill itself. Next candle, just a bit of a drawdown, so we can click a bit of a quicker. Okay, so right here we was pretty close to being stopped out, but we are still safe. Okay, just a few more candlestick. When you have this position open, you are not looking for any new position on the same currency pair. So if you have this GBP AUD long position open, you leave it, even though it gives you a short signal or another long signal. You don't care about that. Okay, you have position open, you leave it. So let's click through that. It's going pretty well. Now, in terms of the management, once again, I will have a separate video, but just to give you a heads up, when your position reaches halfway point till your take profit area, so we are now clearly above halfway point, you are able to go risk free and basically move your stop loss to break even. So meaning that you can, on your broker, you can change your stop loss price to your just a few pips above your entry price, just to cover the spread. So you're basically a risk free. So the worst case scenario, if the market decides to reverse now without fulfilling our take profit, you will be out at break even, so no loss for you. Okay, this is something you can do in terms of the management. While backtesting, while learning, you should take all of the positions on your demo account or your small account, backtesting account, and you just simply keep all of the trades as it is. So let's run through a few more candlesticks. As you can see, it's going pretty slowly at the moment. We are now approaching 10 p.m., which means that in 2 hours, the US session will be closed. So if we still have this position open, we will, yep. So we have 2 more candles. That's it. This is the last candlestick of the US session. And then it begins, it moves to US session, sorry, Asian session once again. So it's midnight. At least in my time zone. In your time zone, it can be completely different. But in this case, we still have an open position at the end of US session, which means that we will have to manually close this position. We never leave position running overnight. Okay, so we have to close this position manually, and we are in a profit of 1.42%, which is pretty good. Yeah, we made 1.42% of a profit, so it's still okay. I mean, what happened here, we had a pretty active rally, and then the rest of the US session market moved sideways. Nothing we can do about that. If we have the position still open, we basically have to close it manually. Okay, simple as that. So you close the position and you click on this trash can and click on remove free drawings, and you wait for tomorrow. Simple as that. So we can play through the Asian session. When it comes to 9, it's now 8:30. It's now 10 once again. The next day you come back and you do the same thing. Session high will be this spike. Session low will be this spike. Sorry, not correctly, just a bit of a more boom, and you wait. So London session goes through. We have a retest and a breakout above the session high, because we closed above the session high with a body closure, not just a spike. So we now need either a retest continuation or a rejection. We have a retest, we have a comeback. Let's see if we can get continuation. Not yet. This is also not a short signal because we are not below the EMAs. In this case, it's just another simple candle, doesn't care too much. This one as well. This one, it's pretty interesting. It would be a buy signal if it closed above the session high with a body. As you can see, it did not. This is very important. Next candle. Once again, spiky, nothing too much. There's nothing solid about this. As a continuation candle. This one, same thing as well. So it was basically moving fairly uninterestingly. Now this candle is pretty good. It's pretty interesting, and we are actually able to go long on this position. The reason is we had a break right here. We had a break. All of this is a retest, and this green candle is a continuation. Why? Because we had a break, some retest candlesticks, and then a nice solid green candlestick back above the session high. We closed above both of the EMAs, and we had a nice strong bullish candle. So you are able to take a long position here as well, basically. So you will do the same thing, click on long. Your entry will be here, your stop loss will be just a bit below your entry price, the low of your entry candle. So it's pretty good visually like that. And then 3 to 1, as always, 299, whatever. And you are able to go ahead and use this as your reference point and go through the trade. And this is looking pretty bad right now. Next candle, probably, yep, stop loss. So in this case, you would be down 1% because this was a losing trade. It happens, and to be honest, in this strategy, quite a lot stop loss orders will happen to you, but in general, the winning rate is way higher than 50%, approximately 64 to 75, depending on the currency pair. So you never can be worried, and you should never worry about stop loss, and you should never be scared or demotivated if you get a stop loss, simply because it's part of the game. And when you will do your back testing, you will notice that stop losses are very frequent thing. But because your risk to reward ratio and risk management is good, you will always be making money. Yeah. Sometimes you may get losing days, sometimes you may get losing weeks, maybe even months. It's pretty rare to have losing month with the strategy, but losing weeks are definitely something that can happen. But once again, there is nothing to worry about because that's part of the game. So in this case, we had a losing trade. We are minus 1%. We remove the drawings and we wait for the next day. Simple as that. Okay. So guys, that's what you should do on a daily basis. So just to summarize everything, every single morning, moments before London session opening, you mark the session high and low, and then you wait for the price action to form and give you a potential entry during the London session. The moment US session begins, after this candle, 3 p.m. my time zone, you should stop looking for trades if you don't have any. If you have an open trade, let it be, let it run. But if you don't have any positions, this candlestick is the end of your hunting window. Okay, so that's it. The US session began. You stop looking for trades. So you have this window of a few hours where you're able to look for positions. If you have some, good. If you don't have, it's also good. You simply come back tomorrow. So I hope this is pretty clear enough. But don't worry, we will go through endless examples of previous trades, successful ones, losing ones, break-even ones, etc. I will show you as many trades as I possibly can, so it becomes boring for you, and eventually you will have a fully clear understanding on how to take these positions and how to trade the strategy. It's very simple yet very powerful. So once again, thank you for watching, wishing you all the best, and I will see you guys on the next video.